Hello, my charmed ones, and welcome back to my channel for another video. And if this is your first time with me, let me just say you have great timing because today's video is going to be awesome. We are setting up our planners for the new year. I am so excited. Okay, so if you are someone who's new, let me just take a moment to say hello, welcome. My name is Alexis, but I'm also known as MissTrenchcoat all across the internet. I'm an online entrepreneur who designs and sells digital productivity tools to help you work smarter, not harder. So if that sounds interesting to you, I'll leave my links down below in the description box where you can check out more of my work online, and feel free to download some of my latest free productivity tools over at thecharmedshop.com. Okay, so it is the end of the year now and the new year is upon us, and it is time to set up our planners for the new year. So as you guys can see from the title of this video and from that little intro, we are setting up my planner for 2017 today. So this is not just a planner walkthrough. You can see from the length of this video, it's a little bit longer than that. And we're actually going to be talking about quite a few things in today's video. I really wanted today's video to be more of like a plan with me in terms of put your planner together with me. So that is the idea behind today's video. So we're going to be talking about a lot of things. You're going to watch me take my planner apart and sort of like analyze what was working, what wasn't working. I'm going to show you how I actually care for my leather binders. I know that's something that I'm asked a lot. Then you're going to watch me print out my inserts, cut them, punch them, put them into my planner, and build my setup for the new year. And of course, I do have a couple of freebies for you guys in today's video that are new to the shop that I would like to share as a little bit of a Christmas present from me to you. In order to sort of expedite today's video, I'm just going to say it now and I'm not going to say it throughout the video. All of the links are going to be down below in the description box for everything that I show. I'm going to look for everything and try to put down in the description as many links as possible. So if you see something you like, check the description box and I'm hopefully going to be able to have something for you there so you can see where I bought something or where something came from. Now, if you are looking at the length of today's video and saying to yourself, Alexis, I don't have this much time. I just want to see what your planner setup is. I just want to see a walkthrough. I don't want to see any of the other things. Don't worry, I've got you covered. So with this video today, I've actually published a second video that is private. It's like unlisted on my channel. It's going to be the top link in the description box. So if you just want to see bare bones what my planner looks like, a walkthrough like really quickly, click that link, that's the video for you. But if you're ready to set your planner up with me and see how I'm putting my planner together and sort of get a little bit of a behind the scenes on the way I think about how I'm assembling my planner and what's working for me and what's not, then you're definitely gonna wanna watch this video as well. And I'm gonna make sure to put some timestamps down in the description box. So if you wanna skip to something specific, you absolutely can. Okay, so that's all the housekeeping for this video. Let's get started. So the first thing I need to do to get my planner set up for the new year is to deconstruct my current planner and figure out what from this system I'm going to take with me into the new year, what I think might be missing from this planner right now, and what in this planner I can get rid of. So things I didn't use so much in 2016 that I would like to just remove and just ease the burden of weight from this rather chunky planner in the new year. So as I take this apart, I'm gonna let you know what each part of the planner is, and I'm gonna talk about how it worked for me. And then I'm just gonna kind of like distribute the items a little bit so I can have piles for things that I need to archive, things that I'm gonna be keeping, and things I can discard. So I think that constantly evaluating your system and making sure it's still working for you is very important. So your life and what you need from your planner can change as your life changes or as your priorities change. You know, there's many reasons why you might need to change up your planner system to be a little bit more optimized. So I think it's really important that you're not afraid to switch things up in your planner and I think it's important that you're conscious of what you're keeping in your planner and how it's working for you and why. Remember, you're the editor of your life, and your planner is the management system for your life. So I'm going to put items into my planner that really serve me and remove anything that does not serve me. So this, this time of year, especially when I'm setting up a new planner, is a great time to kind of go through that editing process. Okay, so as we open this up, okay, the first thing we've got here in the front that you guys may remember from previous videos is a file that I just sort of keep that holds stickers inside of it. Number one, I love this file. So I think this is something that I'm going to keep the file overall because it added stability into this planner. Since it's not really bound, it's a notebook cover with a few different things inside. I needed more stability in this system, and this created some structure and stability. Inside here, you can see I've got like my planner stickers, just things that like are from my shop or things I've designed for myself. These are something that I will say I do not think I want to keep inside of my planner for next year. I actually just want to keep these in my desk. They were a little bit cumbersome. This is actually kind of like a thick pack. So I'm just going to leave this in my desk from now on. So just putting that in there. And the rest of these things in the file probably just need little bits and bobs. So I just probably need to go through this and, distribute these things to where they need to go. But this is going to be something that will stay in my system for next year. Okay, the second part of this is really what I would consider to be my planner in terms of the meat and potatoes of where I plan, how I keep track of my schedule, my events, my tasks, my goals, things like that. And this is, of course, a disc-bound notebook from ARC, as you can see. And I've got the silver Martha Stewart rings that I love. This is just a notebook exterior that I like to use because it's very simple and thin. So what I've got here is I just have this little postcard from like Kylie Cosmetics. I like this. I'm going to save this as well. Here I've got my online business brain dump incompletions trigger list. This is a freebie in my shop if you're someone who has a business. I'm going to keep this. I love having this in my planner. The next set of inserts here is my Charmed GTD Quick Start Guide. I know some of you have that. This will also move into the new planner with me. And then we've got my actual planning inserts, which are my Charmed Life Planner in the A5/half letter size. And I'm just gonna go ahead and actually just start sort of just like pulling these inserts out, right? Because these actually are going to be archived and just kind of kept for reference for me. And here you can see actually, here's the new year of inserts. I actually just have like 1 month in here, January of 2017, but you guys can take a look because I haven't actually started planning in this. So this is what the planner looks like. So you've got a month on 2 pages, master task list for each month, expense sheet, and then this is my vertical week on 2 pages with the top 3. So that was actually not even the whole month of January. Okay, so I just put this in here probably just to have, in case I needed to plan ahead. And then I also have some extra inserts of my daily day timer that I do like to keep inside of my planner. So I'm gonna go ahead and put these to the side for keep, so I just won't reprint these pages. Okay, next thing I've got is a divider. This is my projects divider. I'm actually going to discard this one, and you guys will see why in a little bit. And then this is my projects section. So I can go ahead and just start removing these pages. Okay, and then I also have my blog inserts, YouTube, and tasks. Those can all come out as well. Okay, and then at the back, I kind of keep these Martha Stewart list pads, just handy things to have in your planner. So I'm going to save these as well. I'll probably end up refilling those for next year's planner. Also, I'm gonna pull out my page marker. Now, what I do with these to archive them, this is super simple. I take a giant binder clip and I'm just gonna clip it. And then I store these in one of my storage boxes, so I have it for a reference. And I probably actually will reference this after my planner is completely set up for the new year, because I want to probably add some information that's still in here that's maybe still relevant or ongoing, so I don't lose any of that. Okay, so all I have left of this is just the cover and back cover with the rings, and I'm gonna put this to the side because that's gonna be reused. Then the last part of this system that I use is my notebook here, and I am going to keep this. Let me see, I think it's it's about halfway filled. So I'm gonna keep this for next year and just use it up because I don't wanna waste. I do have other notebooks I could use, but I love this one, and it's not empty yet, so I'm gonna kind of, try to finish using my notebooks and not switch them around too much. So this will also be saved. Okay, so this is my planner cover, completely empty, you can see. And before I kind of move on to the next step of this process, the last thing I kind of want to talk about is just some things that I would like to add into my planning system for the new year. Now, I think I mentioned while I was deconstructing this, that one of the things that I liked about this planner setup for last year was the file in the front. This right here, right, which used to keep in my stickers, and I also have some other bits and bobs inside of it. I liked this because it created stability in the planner. So like I said, this planner cover is very kind of floppy and loose, and it just had multiple pieces inside of it. So having this added a little bit of like extra security because it kind of tightened things up. So for the new year, something that I really want to add into this system, and specifically into my arc bound notebook part of my planner, is I would like to add a little bit of more stability in terms of actual physical elements. So one of the things that I really want to do is add more dividers into this system. So I'm going to show you guys a little bit later on what I'm going to be using for dividers in here. But overall, like, I loved this system. And if you guys followed me last year, you guys know that, my Charmed Life Planner, since I actually launched this in the summer of 2015, I have been using this as my go-to planner. Like, I've never switched away from it because this system really works for me. So I'm gonna continue using these planner inserts and my project planning inserts into the new year. But the one part of this actual binder that was tough for me was stabilizing this sort of the discbound system. I'm not going to say that it's not stable and it's not secure, but it is pretty. You can see it's kind of just a little bit flimsy, right? So especially since this is not a very hard cover, but I can't use a very hard one with this notebook cover. So I'm going to add stability to this planner in the new year through dividers, and I have some ready to go that I'm going to show you guys once we get to building the new planner. But other than that, I would say that this system was amazing for me. Like, I absolutely loved it, and I'm really looking forward to starting 2017 with this system rebuilt. Okay, so since I am going to be using this planner cover again for 2017, the next step that I want to take now that this is empty is I need to clean this cover up. As you can see, you may be able to notice in the inside specifically, and even in areas of the outside, I think you can notice that, this is a full leather cover, and it has this embossed python exterior. So it actually gets quite dirty, especially since it's black. Black picks up, all the dirt, you guys know that. And this material is not specifically, it's not like a repellent. In fact, this microfiber-ish thing on the inside is actually like attracts dirt like none other, as does the, embossed areas of the python exterior. So I am going to want to clean this up before I start rebuilding the system in here, because I don't want to be using a dirty planner, and this is leather and I want to keep it looking nice. This wasn't a cheap binder by any means. So I'm going to show you guys how I clean this up. And I would highly recommend for your planner, if you're using a binder or reusing a binder, to make sure that you also kind of clean your planner up just to kind of keep it looking good, no matter if it is real leather or material or anything like that, faux leather, whatever it is. I think that all of our planners deserve a little cleaning, and I'm going to show you the process that I use and products I use for leather goods. Okay, so the first thing that I like to do when it comes to cleaning my planner, you can see I put down a little bit of a paper towel just to kind of keep my workspace clean. The first thing I like to do is evaluate what is dirty that needs to be cleaned specifically. So you want to evaluate that because different areas may need different products and different attention. So like I said, this interior is just really, I don't know if you guys can see in there, it's like super dirty. It just has like paper shards, paper dust all over it. And then inside of the embossed areas of this, like I said before, it's just picked up, I would just say like dirt. It has just sort of built up on here and like I have like areas where like you can clearly tell, like I touched this with like hands that still had like makeup on it. So it's got like that sort of, I don't know, makeup look on it. And the back too, you know, the back has just like a lot of buildup on it. Just because, you know, that's, you know, where it's been laid all year long. So, because it just kind of lays flat on my desk. So the first thing I'm going to go ahead and do is take a dry sort of lint-free cloth, and I really just want to clean this up. You know, this dust inside is, it's not necessarily, it's not going to stain it. I just want to clean up any of these big particles, get them out of here, and just use this lint-free cloth to do it. Okay, so you can see I've pretty much cleaned that up pretty well. There are still some like discolored areas in here, and I could actually, in fact, let's just go ahead and take like a little wet wipe actually and see if that helps. Because this is just cloth inside. Maybe it can take a little bit of that dust residue out, but I want to be very careful because I don't want to get too much of this liquid on the actual leather of the binder. And that was just like a simple, small little wet wipe. Okay, so I am definitely not a leather care expert by any means, okay? But I will say that I do own some leather items. I've had this for a while, so I do know a thing or two about cleaning leather. So I know specifically with this, and really any leather product, one thing that you really want to avoid is using chemicals or solutions that are abrasive to leather. So anything that has alcohol in it or any abrasives in it, I don't like using anything with like sodium lauryl sulfate because I think it dries out the leather. So you want to be really careful about what you use to clean leather. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm using a solution that I made. This is just warm water and a gentle soap, okay? So a gentle soap that is like a sensitive skin soap, so it has no alcohol, no sodium lauryl sulfate, so it's not gonna foam up. And you can see, you may be able to see, I mean, this is a white bowl, but it, you know, it's got a little bit of a smoky look to it right now because it does have soap in it. So this isn't just a plain thing of water, but you could use a plain water as well. And I'm gonna use this same cloth again because it's a nice lint-free cloth. Okay, and although it may have some stains on it because this is old, it is clean. Okay, so what I want to do with this, okay, is I'm just going to dip this a little bit into the water, and I'm going to use a finger and I'm going to clean the exterior. I'm just going to, not too much water, you don't want to like drown the leather. And you want to be careful because, especially with this one, the embossing, if you have any embossing or any texture in your leather, you kind of want to go with the grain to clean things out. But as you can see, this is picking up, you know, a fair amount of the dirt that's on the exterior. And as you can see, maybe looking at this here, you might be able to see, I'm picking up dirt. You can see that there's that dirt spot there. So I'll change that around and I'll go to another spot that's not dirty, but I'm not picking up color from the leather, which is very important that depending on the color planner that you have, you want to be very gentle and make sure you're just picking up dirt, not any color, because color treated leathers, it's just so easy to sort of fade those or pick up color and create light spots and things like that. So be very gentle as you go around. I'm also just going to gently do this inside in here because there are a few spots in here. Okay, so not bad for this first round of cleaning, okay? Now, something else that I would just recommend is that if you have a planner that has any little nooks and crannies, this one clearly doesn't, but any areas that might have either like a button, or sometimes planners, especially 6-ring binders, have like an exterior, like metal brad or something that's actually holding the rings to the leather. I would recommend, you know, for any little areas, using a Q-tip. And I pulled a few Q-tips out because I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to pick up all of the dirt inside of the crevices of the embossing, but I think it actually did pretty good. Like, I'm not actually getting much on this. So just keep that in mind. You can always use like a little, like I could dip this into the water and I could go, you know, into any areas, like any little fine areas that might have, you know, just build up. So keep that in mind. It doesn't look like I really need that. These are actually coming off pretty clean. Okay, so that step is done then with the cleaning process. Okay, so the next thing that I'm gonna do to just clean, and really this is to condition. So because this is real leather and I do wanna take care of this, right? I am going to put some leather conditioner on it as well. So the leather conditioner that I love for my leather goods is called Meltonian. This is Boot and Shoe Cream Polish. So I use this with my leather goods, and the colors that, this color that I actually use, because this actually comes in many different colors, I use 170 Delicate Cream, which is actually kind of a clear color. I think there is a clear cream, but this is the one that was recommended to me to use, and I love it. I haven't had any issues with like color transfer or anything like that. But if you're gonna pick this up and you've never used it before on your leather planner, make sure to test a small area by taking a Q-tip, dabbing it in, and just finding a small area either on the inside of your planner, somewhere hidden, and you can test it just to make sure that it doesn't have any adverse effect, but this stuff is pretty good. So when it comes to using this, I'm gonna use this same cloth again. Okay, I'm just gonna find an area that's not wet, and I'm just going to dab my finger into that a little bit, just very lightly. I've got a little bit here on the, like the fingertip here. And what I'm going to do is massage this in like a circular motion, okay? And this is gonna help pick up any other debris, and it's going to condition the leather. And now, as you can see, as I'm going through this, I am picking up some more dirt, but I'm not picking up color, which is good. You never want to be picking up color, but dirt will look, you know, it'll look a little bit, you know, dirty, right? But you don't want to be picking up like swaths of color. Like that's a no-no. So I'm gonna go ahead and continue. And as I do this, I do like to make sure that I'm not leaving any extra or excess of this anywhere on the binder. You want to make sure that you really work it all in. And as you can see, as I kind of go along, maybe you can see it, maybe you cannot. Let me see if I lift this up. I realize this is black, so it's so hard. Oh, here, that actually, well, like this side, which is like done, I don't know, actually, you might not be able to really tell that much, but it will create like more of a luster on the areas, because basically what you're doing is you're conditioning the leather. So I realize that all of this actually looks pretty, pretty similar on camera right now because we just cleaned it off, right? So it's a little bit moist already. So you guys are actually just seeing a very, just like one color, but up close you could see that the area that has had the cream on it is, you know, it looks much more conditioned, it looks much more shiny. And this is really taking off, you know, whatever is left of the dirt on the binder. It's really working in there. And I'm just gonna go in any places, you know, as it's starting to dry right now, any places that still look a little dried out or still look like there's dirt, I'm gonna go ahead and just go over areas. And I wanna pay particular attention to the edges too. I'm probably gonna go over these edges again, just because the edges can get really dry. And especially with a design like this, with this embossing, the edges, if they are dry, they may tend to flake off a little bit, which is why I'm just gonna pay a little more attention to the edges. Okay, so I'm gonna flip this over now and just do a little bit on the inside because there is leather in the inside as well. Fresh area of cloth. Do you guys see how quickly this is drying too? This is actually drying really quickly. I tend to think that when you put something like this sort of leather conditioner on and it dries very quickly, that I think that means that your leather's really thirsty, right? But I know because paper is going in here, like paper products, obviously for my planner, I don't want this to be over conditioned. So actually I'm going to leave this right now. It feels really good. Yes, could it take more of the cream? Probably, but I don't want this to get too, I don't want this to get like too moisturized, or else it might just be a little tacky or it might take a while to dry. So I think that's enough, and it looks like, yeah, that looks good. I'm gonna go ahead and just flip this actually, just so this dries on the outside. And I'm actually gonna set this aside right now so we can work on the rest of the things that need to go into here. So I'll put this to the side and I'll be right back. Okay, so the next thing that I need to do to get my planner set up for the new year is to print out my inserts. And like I told you guys already, I'm going to be using my Charmed Life planner for 2017 in the new year as well. And this is my half letter version that I showed you before. And I am going to print this out right now here from, I think this is Adobe Acrobat Reader, okay? So when it comes to printing out my inserts, if you're someone who does own my inserts already, there are directions for how to print them on the cover. However, if you're someone who has a duplex printer, which means that it will print double-sided for you, you don't have to use those directions. You can actually do what I'm going to be doing right now. So what I like to do for this is I will set my page range for what I'm printing. Now, the first page of all of my inserts is always the cover page. So we're not going to print that. So we always would start with page 2. And I always recommend for people to start on an even numbered page and end with an odd number page. So actually, really quickly, I just remembered, I already have some of the pages for 2017 printed out. So I'm going to just look at those and figure out what page I need to print going forward. Okay, so the last page that I actually have printed on there has January 9th on it, which this is page number 7 anyway, which is good. So I will start printing on page number 8. And I also know that I'm not going to get the full year of inserts in here. I generally use half a year at a time. So I'm gonna pull myself through June and just see where the last June page is as well. June. And we want an odd page. Okay, so this goes into July. 25th. 26th, 27th, 28th. I think that's going to be the last one. Okay, so that's 41. So page number 41 is the last page I want to print. I realize that's going to be an incomplete week, but by the time June comes around, I'll reprint. So I'm going to be going from page number 8 to 41. So that's where I'm going to go. So the first thing I do is set my page range. Okay. You want to make sure that the scale is set at 100%, right? So you can say custom scale or you can say actual size. I'll just leave it at the custom scale, no big deal. And then when I go into my printer settings, I'm going to choose two-sided, and I'm going to go to the layout option, and it will default to long edge binding. This is basically the orientation by which the printer will flip, quote unquote, the design, but you want short edge, okay? So that's going to get it so that all of the pages are front and back the same direction. So if you have an issue with your pages printing and like on one side they're right side up and then they're upside down on the back, that's because you probably defaulted to long edge and didn't change, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and print those. Okay, so now that the Charmed Life Planner is printing, you guys may be able to hear it behind me going off on the printer. I'll skip through making you watch me print out all of my inserts because later on when I assemble the planner, we will walk through exactly what inserts I'm putting into it. But before I go, I do want to show you 2 new inserts that are actually freebies in my shop. And I just want to give you guys like a peek at those and show you guys how to use them so you are aware moving forward. Okay, so the first insert that I have to show you is my new 2017 This Is Your Year dashboard that I've actually nicknamed the Magnificent 7 for 2017. So get it, Magnificent 7, because, you know, 2017 ends with a 7. And also there's that Western movie with Chris Pratt and Denzel Washington. That's the remake of the 60s movie with Yul Brynner and Steve McQueen. That just recently, you know, is launching or it's coming out soon. Do you guys remember that? Anyway, okay, maybe it's just me. Okay, so this dashboard is really fun, and it's a little bit different than what I've done in previous years. And here's actually a picture of the dashboard empty. And the reason that this is fun is because this idea of the Magnificent 7 is that you're actually going to choose 7 habits that you want to work on for the new year. So if you guys have been following me for a while, you know that I have been into habits. You know, I've really been kind of obsessed with them since I read The Power of Habit by Charles Duhigg a few years ago. And I've really been very conscious lately about my habits. So for 2017, I'm not really setting any not to say that I'm not setting any resolutions or goals, because I will be setting some, but I really am focusing on my habits instead of just like resolutions, right? Things that I want to enact for 2017 are going to be habit related to help me to support my lifestyle and support, you know, my high level of execution and performance in my life, right? So that's going to help me to become personally a more successful person. So this Magnificent 7 dashboard, right, is actually something that comes with a workbook. So we're actually looking at the workbook right now. And it comes with directions, and it also comes with a list that I recently published on my blog called The 100 Life-Changing Actions to Turn into Habits. So if you're not sure what habits you want to work on for the new year, you can use this list of 100 actions and turn them into your habits, right? So this covers like 10 different areas of your life, lots of wonderful inspiration here. So once you know what the 7 habits that you want to work on are for 2017, you're going to go to the actual file for the dashboard, which is this, and you will see here that this is actually an editable PDF, right? So you have editable areas here in the dashboard, 7 of them, and they're all numbered off, and they've got like these cute little brackets. And they're also kind of like optimized for different spaces. So as you choose your habits, you're going to want to give a little bit of thought to where you're going to actually type them all in. So, I mean, you could number them 1 to 7 in order of importance, but really the way that I designed this, it was really like certain spaces are bigger or longer so that you can write out more or less, you know, depending on things. So things like make my bed, that's really small. That can fit in my little number 1 spot because it's tiny. But something else, you know, that might be like a longer habit, you know, would fit into a bigger area. So you'll need to give a little bit of thought to that. But all you do when you get this file is open it up, and I'm opening it here in Adobe Acrobat Reader, which is a free download online, and you will just click into these areas, right? And you can just type. And once you are done typing in what your Magnificent 7 are for 2017, you will go and print it. And I realize that this one is not complete, but all you'll do is print it at 100% scale for the half letter / A5 equivalent, or, and I forget what the number is actually for personal size, but it's in the workbook. Let's see. Workbook says 85%. So you will adjust this to 85% right here, so that it's smaller for personal size. Now, I also do not have any crop marks or anything in there because this is an adjustable file that's meant like for you to print it a few different ways. So you can actually even hit fit. Oh, okay, sorry. So you can actually hit fit and make it like full size, or you can adjust this down like the custom scale for whatever planner you've got. So I didn't include every option, but you know, you can play around with the file and you know, print it at whatever scale you want to fit whatever your planner is. And then all you'll do is compare your printout to, like for this one, 100% scale. This will be for my like half letter planner. I'll take a piece of half letter paper and I will line it up with the design, and I'll just sort of make my own crop marks. Okay, so that's how you do that. And then you'll just trim the excess off and punch it and put it into your planner of choice. So that is how you use this file. And you can also, once you've actually edited it and put in your Magnificent 7, you can go ahead and like hit File, Save As, and you can save a new copy of this with your edits in them, which is really great. Okay, and the second new freebie that you can get in my shop for 2017 is my updated monthly dashboards. Okay, so you guys probably already know that I do give away every month a dashboard in my shop with my, you know, monthly to-do lists that are themed for like the month or the season, whatever. This year, I've actually changed up that design and turned it into a divider and a dashboard. So what you'll get actually this year, I hope you guys are so excited about this because this is something that was kind of like requested from me to do. And I'm just kind of zooming out here so you guys can get a sense of what you're looking at here. Okay, so this file is actually a 2-page PDF, okay? And the first page is this beautiful like marble calendar, right? So we've got the month here broken out, the year, and then this beautiful marble pattern. So when you print this out, you're gonna print it double-sided. So if you have a double-sided printer, wonderful. If you've got a duplex printer, just print this double-sided. And actually the way that you'll print this, just to give you guys a sense in your double-sidedness, right, is you do want this to actually print on the long edge binding. So this is a little bit different than my Charmed Life planner. The long edge binding is what you want to print the dashboards out, or you can print the front page, you know, reinsert it and print the back page as well. So this is the front here, which is just like sort of a calendar, right? So nice little, you know, intro divider page. And then the back is your dashboard, okay? So if you remember the dashboard for last year, this will look a little bit similar, but I have reimagined it to take the space and utilize it a little better, especially since now we've got the calendar month on the front. So you can see here what I've got is the month and the year. Then we've got an area up top that says mantra. Now this is meant for you to write in like a quote or an affirmation or like a personal mantra for the month, whatever you want to put in, like a Bible quote, something that's inspiring you, whatever you want. Even if you've like themed your months and you want to like have a specific focus for your month, you can put it here on top in the mantra section. Then I've expanded the dates section here in the center, and you've got some more bullets. So if you have like heavier months, right, that have more like events and holidays in it, or if you want to track bills or payments or anything like that in here, you absolutely can and list those out. You've got much more space now. And we still have the oldies, those monthly goals, 3 of those, and then 3 spots for the reading list. So again, once you print this out front and back, all you're going to do is you're going to cut around the actual edge of the marble front here, because that's kind of perfectly sized for like half letter. Again, you could adjust this, and this insert actually is going to come in an A5 like this and a personal size. So when you download this, you're going to get both. It's not like the Magnificent 7 file, which you can actually just scale. So this is the divider dashboard. So this is great because a lot of people have asked me to do like a printable divider so that they could put it into their planner and kind of use it, you know, so it's like a divider as well. So that kind of serves you in that way. Or, you know, if you just want to use one of these pages, you absolutely are welcome to. So I am going to be releasing these every month, right? So I always put them out in my shop, usually about a week before the month ends. And when I put the new one up, I will take down the old one. But that is the new divider dashboard. I hope you guys love it. Okay, so now I have all of my inserts all printed out. So everything I need to fill my planner, basically build my planner from scratch into this disc-bound notebook. So the first thing I need to do is cut and punch everything to the appropriate size so it can go in. So I've got my paper trimmer here and my arc punch here, and I'm just gonna go to town and cut everything out so it is ready to be put inside of the notebook. Okay, so first comes cutting. Okay, so now I'm done with cutting all of these inserts. Now what I'm gonna do is reorder everything and put it into the order that I want it in my planner, more or less. And then I'm gonna go ahead and punch. Okay, so I think that this is more or less the order that I want my planner to be in. And I have included other, punched inserts in here that I already had. So I'm gonna go through now and punch them, and then we can go ahead and assemble. And as we assemble, I will talk you through what inserts I'm putting in. Okay, so now here are all my inserts and they are in order of how I want them in the planner. So I'm gonna go ahead and build this planner into this disc-bound notebook. So the first thing I've got here is my Magnificent 7 dashboard. I want that one in the front. Next, I've got my 2017 yearly overview. Also want that in the front. Followed by my business incompletions trigger list. And then my Charmed GTD Quick Start Guide. Okay, then I'm gonna start my calendar with the January dashboard divider. And you guys can see how lovely that looks. See, we've got the front here and then the dashboard in the back. And then we're gonna put in the Charmed Life Planner. Okay, so immediately following my planner, I just have these day on one page, like these daily day timer inserts that are from my shop. I'm just gonna put these behind this because if there's ever days where I've got like so much to do, I want it all organized on a page, I just like to have a few of these ready for me. Next, I'm going to put in my year at a glance project tracker. And I leave these full pages open. And then once they're in, it's a little bit more accurate for me to actually go ahead and fold it in half. Okay. Next up will be project planning pages. And I always need a bunch of these. And you can see here, the front of these are project planning sheets and the back are notes. So that's how I like to have my project planning. Okay, actually I'm just gonna go ahead and flip that over to make more room. Okay, the next thing I'm gonna put in here is my year at a glance tracker. I will plan out important days here and mark them off. I may also mark off like vacation or something in here. So I like to have one of these in my planner. And then after that, I have the new yearly overview page. So this has the full year front and back on it. And this will be used to manage my content and my marketing pretty much for the year. Okay, so right after that, I will put in my blog post inserts. And my YouTube inserts. These are just for me to help keep track of YouTube post ideas and things like that. I also like to put in just a couple of these task trackers, just in case I have like one-off tasks. I just like to put them somewhere. And then the last bit of this, I think, is going to be these gratitude pages. So I have these like week on one page gratitude inserts in my shop. And since one of the habits I want to start doing like more regularly in 2017 is journaling, I thought that the weekly gratitude page might be a good way to help me ease into this. So I basically printed out enough for the first 6 months of the year. And this is just an easy way for me to kind of like keep track of things that I'm happy about, that I'm grateful for, like wins and things like that for my business and personal life, all that jazz. Okay, so this is my disc bound, all filled up with all of my inserts. But if you guys remember, I told you earlier when I was deconstructing my old planner that one of the things that I really wanted to do and add for the new year was more structure. So as you can see, this is kind of still a little bit, I don't know, it's just still a little bit too wobbly for me. I mean, it's pretty thick, so it's pretty good, but I actually have a set of dividers that I want to add to this. And here those are. Okay, so these are the set of dividers I have. And these are actually from discbound. You can see like the arc discbound symbol down here. And it's just this set of, what is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 dividers in just like this black color that it just matches this. So I am going to break up the sections of my planner with these dividers. So I think the back section that I want to have separated, I'm going to start with my back here, are the gratitude. I want that sectioned off. Yeah. Then I will section off project planning. Maybe not. Let me see. Maybe I'll start from the front. I haven't like fully decided what I'm doing with these. Okay, so this guy, when you open up, looks nice there. Yeah, let's make this the first section. Okay, so that's the first section. Then all of the calendar, that's fine. That can be the second section here. And here. Okay, you know what? I know what I'm gonna make this the next section. And then I'll put this back here and I'll make this like everything else in the back. So any extra inserts and stuff I'll put back here. Okay, so I'll take these inserts from here and pop these in the very back. Along with these guys. Okay, so this is completely stuffed now. So it's like super structured, like this is not moving very much. And the last thing I need to do is to go ahead and put my printable tabs in to this so that I have more organization. So I'm just gonna go ahead and put those in for the months that I have. Okay, so now that the planner has been built in the discbound and I've got all of my labels on so that everything is like divided out, I have pulled out my cover, which is nice and dry and you can see nice and clean. And it's time to start assembling the planner. So what I like to do is I will slide that in the front cover. Then I will, I'll take all this stuff out because I have not gone through that yet. And I will just put this in empty for now. Okay. And then in the back here, I will slide in my notebook. Perfect. Okay, so let me go ahead and put my, let's see, I'll put this in here, my clear little page marker. Okay, and there is my planner set up for 2017. I've got a little space here so I can put in a pen. I like to use my Papermate Flair. That can just go right in there in the pen loop. and my planner is set up. Okay, so yay, our planners are now set up for the new year. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I realize it's something a little bit different, doing this sort of set your planner up with me sort of video, but I hope it was inspiring and helpful and answered some very common questions that I know many of you within my community have in terms of how I set my planner up and, you know, just different things like my planner care and all that jazz. So if you did enjoy this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up. Leave me a comment and let me know what planner you're using for the new year. If you're using a binder or maybe different inserts, let me know what those are. I would love to hear about your setups as well. And of course, if you're not yet subscribed to my channel, what are you waiting for? Hit that subscribe button for more awesome videos by me. And until next time, bye-bye.